Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. My follower sent me the story of a business he ran at his school. This guy knew how to make really tasty pickles. Sweet and spicy. He brought a few to school one day and people tried them and they loved them. That's when he got his idea. He was gonna start making and selling homemade pickles. He has a locker he doesn't use, so what he would do is he would bring jars of pickles into school and leave them in his locker. He sent me a picture of his stock. Look at these beautiful jars of pickles that he made.
5-gallon bucket is completely full. It's probably 20 or so. This is gonna make me some money.
Well, business was absolutely booming. Everybody around school wanted his pickles. They even called him the Pickle Man. It became so popular, in fact, that he hired 5 other people to help him sell the pickles. So far, he's made over $600, and he continues to make these pickles to bring every single day. You gotta respect the hustle. Weirdest household rules ever. When this kid was like 8 years old, he was hanging out at his friend's house, and they were playing video games in his friend's room upstairs. Well, this kid had to pee very bad. So he went to the bathroom on the second floor of the house and he started peeing. Well, somehow his friend's mom knew he was peeing in that upstairs bathroom and she rushed up there and started banging on the door. "Excuse me, what are you doing in here? Kyle? You better not be peeing." She said he couldn't pee in that bathroom because this bathroom is for nighttime peeing only and it's daytime right now. You can't be peeing in here. So she made this kid stop peeing midstream, and she sent him to the downstairs bathroom to finish. When he finished and left the downstairs bathroom, she was standing there waiting for him. "I bet you learned your lesson, huh?" "Yeah, I called your mom. She's on her way to get you right now. You are never allowed here ever again." "But never again." Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. This one really isn't a black market, but listen to this. When this guy was in 6th grade, he had a locker that he didn't really use. So every day, he would bring a bunch of sandwiches and water bottles to put in the locker. And he would give out the water bottles and sandwiches during lunch to kids who couldn't afford to buy a lunch. What a great guy. Well, the principal shut him down one day. He said he couldn't do it anymore. But a bunch of students got really mad and started begging the principal to let him bring it back. And the principal finally caved. And he was able to continue giving away lunches to kids that needed it. Respect. He thought this is how babies were made. This guy shared a story of how in junior year of high school, his friend had no idea how babies were made. This is what he thought would happen. He actually believed that when you got married and you and your wife were ready to have a baby, you would take your wife to a hospital, they would put you in a room, and you would pee on your wife. And then bingo! Your wife was pregnant. His friend was like, no dude, that's actually super messed up. He then educated his friend on how exactly babies are conceived. Needless to say, his friend was incredibly embarrassed. Crazy hustles kids ran. This kid's dad owns a tire shop. He's had this business for a very long time, but recently business was slow, and this kid wasn't getting as much allowance as he used to get. He figured the reason he's not getting as much is because the business isn't doing so well. So he had an idea. He went into his garage and grabbed handfuls and handfuls of sharp nails. He then went with his dad to work one day, snuck outside to the street, and started throwing nails all over the ground. And just like that, for some reason, business picked back up. Tons of cars were getting flat tires right outside this guy's shop. And because that was the only tire shop nearby, they went to him. It's a little shady, but he says he doesn't really care because, once again, he started getting more allowance. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This kid's friend brings packed lunches to school, and every day he has 2 bao buns. Well, everyone always wanted one of his buns, so he had an idea to start selling them. However, that didn't really work out because his mom only let him bring 2 buns to school every day. So he had another idea. He was going to auction them off at lunch. And let me tell you, business was booming. And every day, everyone was trying to win the auction. The most money a bao bun has sold for was $40. And so far, he's made over $450. Respect. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. At one school, this kid's incredibly good at magic, especially the trick with 3 cups and a ball. You know, the trick where you have to guess what cup the ball's in? Well, he had an idea. One day, he set this up in his classroom, and they asked people if they wanted to see if they could guess where the ball is. Well, of course, one kid said, "I'll bet you $10 I can guess where the ball is." He said, "Okay, if you guess wrong, I get the $10. If you guess right, I will double your bet." And everyone got it wrong. He was making decent money, but people were getting suspicious because nobody was getting it right. So the magician kid paid his friend $2 a day. His friend would stand in line, and when it was his turn, he would guess where the ball was. But he would guess it correctly because they had worked it out beforehand. Business was booming, and this became a huge thing at his school. In 2 months, he made around $250. But the principal found out, and the magician was suspended for 3 days. Times people didn't get what they ordered. This dude ordered McDonald's off of Uber Eats, but it seems like he got somebody else's order and ruined this guy's plans because he found a note that said, "Will you marry me, Kim?" in the bag. Who would propose in a McDonald's order? Hey, to each their own. This next person ordered a keyboard from Staples, but instead got a case of Dr. Pepper. How does that even happen? Another person ordered pizza and cheese fries from a pizza restaurant, and this is what they got. It's not exactly what they ordered, but this does look bussin'. A mom ordered this nice t-shirt for her toddler, but when it came in and her kid tried it on, they noticed the shirt came with this printed on it. That's kind of awesome. And last but not least, this person ordered this mask online for Halloween, but when it came in, this is what the mask actually looked like. Who did this? Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one high school had something called homework passes. The teachers would get them from the principal at the beginning of the year, and kids could use them to have 1 free pass on a homework assignment or a 1 full day delay on a project. These passes were super intense too. If anyone ever tried to copy them, a void message would appear on the copy. Well, these teachers at the beginning of the year would pretty much pass these out to anyone paying attention in class. The market was flooded. Everyone had homework passes. Well, this kid had an idea. He started buying people's homework passes for $2, and he managed to buy a ton of them. Then he would wait. He would wait till the end of the quarter. That's when every class had very large projects and reports due, and that's when he would sell these homework passes back to students. He sold them for $35 each, and everyone bought them because everyone wanted an extra day to get the reports done. This kid was a genius. In total, he made over $1,000. That's amazing. An 8-year-old kid really wanted McDonald's, so this is what he did. In 2017, an 8-year-old kid from Ohio really wanted McDonald's, but he didn't want to ask his parents, and he had no way to get there. So this is what he did. He taught himself how to drive a car by watching a bunch of YouTube videos. He then got his 4-year-old sister, they got into their parents' car, and they drove effortlessly to McDonald's. On their way to McDonald's, countless people saw them and called the police, saying, "Hey, I think there's a young child driving a car by himself." The police eventually arrived at this McDonald's, and they were absolutely amazed. This 8-year-old kid drove there perfectly. He didn't hit a single thing, and he followed every single traffic rule. While they were waiting for their parents to pick them up from McDonald's, the McDonald's gave him and his sister free cheeseburgers. That's absolutely crazy. Kids' funniest homework answers. This kid didn't know how to answer this test question, so he changed it to construct a banana car, and then he drew a banana car, and then he wrote, "I want to retake this test." Nice try. This homework question said, "What do you think is the best solution for overpopulation?" And this kid wrote The Hunger Games. He's not wrong. To change centimeters to meters, you take out, and he wrote centi. I see what you did there. This homework question asked students, would you rather be stuck on an island all alone or with someone you hate? And this kid wrote, I would rather be on an island with someone I hate so I have something to eat. Kid's a savage. This kid was supposed to name every single type of quadrilateral, but he gave them actual names. Bob, Sam, Tedison, Kate, and Harry. I like the name Tedison. These kids had to draw a picture of their teacher and write something they liked about her. This is this kid's drawing, and this is what he wrote. I like Mrs. Edwards. She is my teacher. I like when she does math with us. Once again, I think this kid meant to say math. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This kid went to a pretty small school, so everyone knew each other. Well, between 3rd and 4th period, in the boys' locker room in the gym, people held a fight club. You had to know somebody to be able to get in. They even had weight classes. The most popular and entertaining match they had was 2 130-pound skinny kids fighting one 300-pound held-back 20-year-old. The fights got pretty intense, but everyone knew when to hold back because nobody wanted to come to class with ripped clothes or a bloody face. There was even a referee for these events. The people who organized this fight club were making bank. But there was also another service. This one kid had a very nice camera, and he would record these matches in super high quality. He would then take these fight recordings and put them on the internet, and the only way people could watch them is if they had a password. So now these guys are running an actual fight club and basically a streaming service to watch the fights if you couldn't be there. Crazy days for sure at this high school, and nobody will ever forget it. People who are having the worst day. This person dropped one of their AirPods in wet paint. What a mess. This person brought a bowl of jelly to a picnic, and after 5 minutes, this is what it looks like. Those bees must be pretty hungry. Another person came home to a peacock in their house. Look at that little guy. This dude had to take a dump in a gas station bathroom, and this was the toilet paper. Who would do this? This guy ordered specially made gummy bears off the internet, and when they got to him, this is what they looked like. All melted and in one piece. Real quick, this app pays you money to learn. If you want it, get it right here. This guy and his girlfriend ordered food, and in his girlfriend's burrito, there was a USB drive. Now I'm curious to know what's on it. People who are having the worst day. This lonely puzzle piece was found in a parking lot, and I bet you somebody somewhere is losing their mind. This person's daughter spilled a milkshake in the back of her car. Yeah, that'll take a while to clean up. A family's house cat tracked down the hidden stash of catnip, resulting in catnip all over this person's clothes and all over their house. That cat must have been fiending. This dude got his sofa stuck and now needs professional help to get it unstuck. He's paying $25 for anybody that can help him. This dude just wanted a cup of hot chocolate, but when he got the hot chocolate, there were tons of dead ants floating in there. How does this even happen? Before I get to the nastiest one, this app pays you to learn about money. And if you're not learning about money, then what are you doing? If you want it, get it right here. Make that money. And this cockroach who completely ruined this person's morning. If I saw that, I would just throw the whole house away. Black markets kids ran in their schools. When this kid was in high school, he ran a whole server network and put it on a USB drive. And whenever you plugged the USB into a school computer, it auto-deleted all the school blocks. So you can go to any website you want. The USB also auto-downloaded Minecraft and Roblox to the computers. He was making bank, big bank, until he was expelled. Another kid at his school wanted to keep this going, so he made about 800 copies of the USBs. But the original kid shut down the server, so he asked him if he could buy the server from him, and he said sure. This guy continued the business going, selling the USBs for $50 each, and he included some software updates. Nice. At Logan's house, there was one rule. Don't go near the piano room, ever. His mom said it was off limits, for emotional reasons. His dad called it a sacred space, and anytime a guest walked past the room, the family would act weird. Nothing to see in this room. One time, Logan's friend leaned on the door and the mom freaked out. So I was thinking that we can go to the, hey! Oh. Well, that night during the sleepover, Logan admitted something. Yo, I've actually never been in the room myself either. You've never been in that room? No. Well, around 2 a.m., Logan's friend who was sleeping over just couldn't handle it anymore, so he got up and he snuck to the piano room. And then he opened the door. And that's when we saw it. Logan's dad was inside wearing a tuxedo, sitting at a grand piano, his fingers hovering above the keys. He wasn't playing, his fingers were just doing this. He then said, "Get out of here and close the door." Okay. He slammed the door shut and went back to sleep. He later found out that Logan's dad had a very weird obsession with grand pianos, and apparently that time of night was his sacred time. So, I don't know. Super weird. This teacher's bogus for this. One morning in this class, everyone was supposed to present these dioramas, and these kids had spent a lot of time on these. They're all lined up on tables. Castles, volcanoes, rainforests. The entire room looks like an art fair. Well, then one kid starts messing around, weaving between tables, being kind of reckless, and then, bam, he stumbles onto someone's project. Oh, crunch. The trees snap in half, clay figures all across the floor. This kid's diorama was completely ruined. Dude, what are you doing? Wasn't my fault. The teacher walks over, takes one look and says, "Maybe you should have put it somewhere secure. Now you're not ready for your presentation." What? Let this be a lesson to you. In life, you must always have a backup plan. And that kid failed the assignment, all because some nutcase slammed into it and broke his project. That is not fair, and that teacher is so messed up for this. Things people thought were normal growing up, but actually weren't. When this kid was growing up, whenever he took a shower and he had to poop, he would just poop in the shower. And apparently he did this all the time. I don't know what his parents thought about this, or if they did it too, but it wasn't until this guy was in college. He was in a shared dorm room with a shared bathroom. He was taking a shower and he took a dump. The people who shared that bathroom with him were absolutely disgusted and horrified. They were like, "Dude, did you just take a shit in the shower?" He's like, yeah. don't you? They're like, no! And that's when he realized that what he had been doing his entire life is super sus. This made me incredibly sad for some reason. It's a video of 3 ants helping each other climb onto a leaf, but one of them gets left behind. See for yourself. I just feel so bad for that little guy. The worst Christmas gifts ever. This girl's dad had just gotten remarried to a woman who had 3 kids of her own. And it was the first Christmas they were all spending together. It was her dad, her new stepmom, and her 3 new step-siblings. Well, on Christmas morning, everyone was handed a gift, and the step-siblings opened theirs first. Oh my god, a new laptop. Oh my god, me too, I got a laptop too. Hey, a laptop. Yo, what's up? Now that her 3 step-siblings went, it was her turn to open her gift. And since her gift was shaped the same as theirs, she was assuming she was getting a laptop as well. So she opened it. I'm pretty sure I know what mine is. It wasn't a laptop. Instead, it was a $25 McDonald's gift card that her stepmom put in a laptop-shaped box. I know how much you love McDonald's. Alright everyone, enjoy your new gifts. The worst step-parents of all time. When this kid was 11 years old, his dad and his stepmom had been married for 5 years. Well, one day, his stepmom took him to get some ice cream. Right after she bought him a cone, they sat down, and she said she wanted to talk. This is what she said. I think it's best if you went to live with your mom full-time. No one in our house loves you. Your father and I both think you are a bastard child who takes all of our money. You smell weird, you can't do anything for yourself, nobody loves you. And not to mention, you are a pathetic waste of life and you are ruining the love between me and your father. Enjoy your ice cream cone. She then left the ice cream shop without him and drove away. Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. Leaving him there, all by himself, with no way to get home. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. When this guy was younger, he just moved to a new school. It was pretty big and everyone that went there was pretty wealthy. Well, at the time, he had about 500 Pokemon cards. He didn't care too much about them, so he had an idea. He took them to school and started selling them. $1 for normal cards and $5 to $20 for the rarer cards. Price would range depending on the demand. He sold out in the first month. He made $750. So yeah, business was booming. He used that money and he bought more cards. He was selling these cards like crazy. He bought a lockbox to keep in his locker. That's where he stored his money. Well, one day, while he was putting his money away in the box, some kid came up to him, grabbed a handful of cash, and ran away. So he took some money out of his lockbox and paid some bigger kids to hunt this guy down and get his money back. He said it didn't take them too long to find the thief. He's not sure what they did to him, but the kid was fine, so they didn't do anything too crazy. Once the school year came to an end, he counted all the money he made. In total, he made $3,000. We've all done weird things as kids, but what this guy did was super sus. He shared the story of when he was in middle school. Him and his friends were hanging outside after it was raining, and there were tons of earthworms on the sidewalk. One of his friends said, "Hey yo bro, I dare you to eat a worm." What? No bro, that's disgusting. Nah man, he dared you, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. Okay. Oh, that's so gross. My god, I can't believe he actually did it. Well, what he didn't tell his friends was that he actually enjoyed the way the worm tasted. And for 3 years after that, every time it rained, he would go outside and secretly eat worms off of the sidewalk.
Oh, that's so good. It's so good.
Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. One day, when he was in middle school, a girl was drawing something in class. Well, the teacher wanted to see what she was drawing, and when she went over there, she saw that it was amazing. This girl was an incredible artist. Well, word spread, and suddenly, her business started. Both teachers and students were paying her $20 to $50 to make paintings, drawings, or to create designs on shoes. By By the end of 8th grade, this girl made over $1,000, and she is still an artist to this day. This reality show star sold her farts, but you won't believe what happened. This is Stephanie Motto. She's an influencer, YouTuber, author, and a former star of TLC's 90 Day Fiancé. Well, recently, she launched a new business after realizing how much demand there was for it. In November of last year, she found lucrative work in bottling and selling her own farts. For 2 months, she spent her days farting in glass jars and putting a flower petal in them. She would then sell and ship them to her fans. She had sold more than $200,000 worth of her farts, but the orders were coming in too fast, and she had to keep up. One day, she thought she was having a heart attack. She went to the hospital. Turns out, it wasn't a heart attack. She had an incredibly dangerous buildup of gas in her body. Apparently, every day she was eating so many beans in order to keep up with demands and produce her farts. After that crazy health scare, she has now left that career behind her. Dumb reasons people got in trouble at school. Back in the day, this guy went to a Catholic grade school. Well, they had a strict hair length policy for the boys at the school. Their hair couldn't touch their collars. Well, one day the principal came into their class to talk to them about this rule. And when she was leaving, she called this kid out in front of the whole class about his hair length. He responded by pointing to the cross hanging above the door and said, "Well, Jesus had long hair. What's the problem?" The principal didn't know what to say to this. She was very embarrassed. She called him out to the hallway, started screaming at him, and told him to cut his hair or he'll serve detention. That's nuts. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. This guy goes to a pretty small school. Well, a few years ago, he found out a way to shut off the entire school's power for about 30 minutes. He never told anyone how he did it, and the school never found out about this. I don't know why. Like I said, it was a small school, so I don't know what's going on there. But this is how his business worked. Somebody would give him $10. They would tell him when they wanted the power shut off and why. Most people did this because they had a presentation they didn't prepare for or a project they didn't do, so the power being turned off would give them more time or a few extra days to do it. Well, business was booming. He did this for about 3 years. And overall, he made around $1,000. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. This guy's in high school. And this is how he started this business. It was the beginning of a school year. He went around to a bunch of students at the school and asked what type of candy they liked. He went out and bought a bunch of that type of candy. He then started selling each candy product for $2 each. Business was picking up so much that whenever he brought candy to class, he would sell over $40 worth in the first minute. Business was booming. He started putting more and more money into his product every time he restocked. For example, if he spent $100 on his candy stock, that would be about $250 profit. If he spent $500 on his candy stock, that's about $1,000 profit. He was making tons of money. That's when he started hiring his friends to do the selling for him, and they would get a part of the profit. Here are some pictures and videos of his stock. It's actually super impressive. Here's one day's profit. This guy was a legend. In 1 year, he made $10,000. Fast food workers' worst experiences. Years ago, this dude worked at McDonald's. One day, he was working the cash register when he saw a man who was eating in the dining room throw up all over the floor. This guy's wife then comes up to him and says, "Hi, my husband just threw up all over your floor, so if you could come clean that up, that would be great." What? The wife and the husband that threw up then stood up, walked over to a different table, sat down, and continued eating their meal. And while the worker was cleaning up the vomit, the couple sat there, unapologetic, unconcerned, and smiling while he cleaned up the vomit. If you want to hear even crazier fast food worker stories, I have the full video on my YouTube. Check it out. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. This kid went to high school in Honduras, and his business was that he ran a sports book. So he had a cousin who had an account, and he began sports betting when he was in 9th grade. Well, people at his school found out he was betting and started to ask him to place bets for them. So he started the business. He charged everybody 5% of all bets in, and he would get 5% of their winnings. Business was booming. He was making absolutely bank, especially during soccer season. Over the course of that year, he made $1,500. Unfortunately, one kid lost $300 on a bet, and he blamed our dude, so he snitched. Our guy was then taken to the principal's office, his parents were called, and he got a 3-day suspension. He didn't snitch on anybody else that was involved, and he said the best part was that his dad was incredibly proud of him. Gotta respect the hustle. Black markets kids ran in their schools. When this kid was in middle school, he lived out in the country, and he used to sell pretty much anything. Gum, fruit, candy bars, you name it. But his biggest seller one season was tadpoles. At the time, his cousin was a baby, so he would collect all of his cousin's empty baby food jars, clean them out, and go to the pond near his house. He would then put water, some rocks, algae in there, and 3 to 5 baby tadpoles. He would then poke holes in the lid and bring them to school. He sold his little tadpole habitats for $1 each. The tadpole containers came with instructions on how to care for the tadpoles and fish food. Business was booming. Tons of kids were buying these. Well, his business was shut down one day when a customer of his put the tadpoles in his sister's drink, and his sister snitched. That's nuts. He got punched on purpose, and his plan worked. In 7th grade, this one kid, Zach, had been dealing with this guy named Tyler for a while now, and Tyler was a piece of work. He was loud, annoying, and constantly trying to get a rise out of Zach. Well, the thing is, Zach never let it get to him. He never shouted back, he never did anything mean to him, he didn't fight, he just waited. Until one Friday at dismissal, Zach saw his way. He sees Tyler standing over there by a locker, and he decides to enact his plan. It's time. Oh, hey, yo! He walks by Tyler and softly and accidentally bumps him in the shoulder. Yo, what is your deal? Well, Tyler snaps, and all Zach does is stand there. Say something. He doesn't, and that makes him very mad. He then winds up and punches Zach right in the face. You know what, dude? Well, Zach stumbles back, throws up his hands like he's gonna fight back, but then he just says, "Time out, time out. Time out. Yeah, you just punched me in the face, man. I'm not gonna fight you back, though." Everyone's like, yo, what? Guys, I didn't hit him, right? Huh? Look, he hit me. I didn't hit him. Security rolls up, so does the principal. No, he bumped into me. He was gonna fight me. Oh, it's a crowded hallway. I didn't even touch you. You punched me. What happened? We were fighting. Both of us. What happened? He punched me. I never swung. Zach didn't do anything. Tyler did. They looked at the cameras and everything checked out. Tyler was suspended for 3 days and Zach got nothing. The next day somebody asked Zach, "Yo, dude, was that your plan the entire time?" "What can I say? I played chess." And that was his way of getting back at his bully without lifting a finger. Genius. How much do you love your cat? This guy lived with his girlfriend and he has a cat he's had most of his life. This is his cat. She's 21 years old. Damn! Well, a couple of days ago, his girlfriend saw that Shuri made a mess in the litter box. Ugh. Oh my god, Steven, come here. Yeah, what's up? Look what your old ass cat did. It's just some litter on the ground. What's the matter? It's disgusting. Ugh. I can't wait till she's dead. He got so mad. He loved his cat. That night, when his girlfriend was at work, he packed up all of his stuff, put his cat in his carrier, and left. I'm not sure what happened after that, but what would you do in that scenario? It's 7th grade and this kid Lucas brings a bunch of Costco gum to school. Tons of packs. Every single flavor. And he never made a big deal about it, but he would pull them out here and there so that people could see. And naturally, they would ask for a piece of gum. And when they did, 50 cents. "Oh, I don't have any money right now." "Oh, that's fine. Pay me later." And that was his thing. You know, at first, people were like, he's not gonna ask for that money later, you know? It's just a piece of gum. But that's where they were completely wrong. Because after he would give someone a piece of gum and say, "Pay me later," he would pull out a tiny notebook and write down the debt in that notebook. Everybody had a tab. Their name, their flavor, and how much they owed. But the thing is, he wanted this debt to grow. He would walk up to them. "Hey, so you still owe me from last week, but I just got this crazy new watermelon flavor. You want a piece? I'll just put it on your tab." And he just kept stacking debt on top of debt on top of debt. Until finally he decided it was time to collect. He goes to the 2 biggest kids in class. "Carl? Mordecai? Yeah. I'll give you 10%. Here's the list. Get me my money." And they would go around school with the list. "Hey, you got Lucas's money? I'm here to collect." And these kids were big and intimidating, and people did pay him back. Lucas made like $175 before this whole thing was shut down. Gotta respect the hustle, I guess. Students get payback on the mean secretary. At one high school, there was a secretary that was super mean all the time.
"Pull your pants up, Steven. Johnny, keep on moving. Stacy, what's with all the makeup? You look like a hussy."
I hate these kids. Well, one kid wanted to get back at her for all the times she was super mean to the students. This is what he did. One night, he made a Craigslist ad saying, "Sugar baby, looking for sugar daddy." It said, "I am very pretty. If you're interested, please call this number." But the number that he used was the school's front office.
Dairy Brothers High School, how may I help you?
Still looking for a sugar daddy?
What? Oh my god. Ugh. Dairy Brothers School, how may I help you?
What do you say? Me, you, strawberries, champagne, hot tub. It'll be a blast.
My god, what is going on?
Mommy?
That's it!
The kid that orchestrated this prank became an instant legend. People still thank him for taking down the mean secretary. My favorite comebacks. Let's get to it. Hey, nice Cheerios, Kyle. Did your mom pack those for you? Screw you, Chad. What did you just say to me? I said screw you, Chad. What's your problem, bud? My problem's that you were born, bud. What do you want to do about this, huh? You want to fight me, huh, bro? You want to fight me? You know what? Yeah, maybe I do. Yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to slap you so hard that even Google can't find you. Do it. We got a problem. What's the situation? He was there a second ago and now... Yes? I can't find him. I can't find him. Dear God. It's frozen. Run. So this one school had a tradition. In 8th grade, during the last week of school, there was a day called Water Balloon Day. It was unofficial, unsanctioned, everyone knew. It happens right after lunch in the courtyard. What started as a couple kids tossing water balloons around turned into a full-blown event. And every year it got a little bigger. But this one class took it way too far. They planned for weeks, mapped out the courtyard, found the nooks and the crannies. They assigned roles, runners, refillers, and spotters. Kids are wearing goggles and rain ponchos like they were going to war. And the wild part was these weren't just simple water balloons. People were freezing them the night before. Others were filling water balloons with Kool-Aid to give them themed and color ammo. By the time lunch ended, it was full-blown chaos. Teachers tried to shut it down, but they were getting hit too. Hey, stop! That's when the principal stormed out with the megaphone. Everyone drop the balloons now! Students were drenched. They were running to avoid getting in trouble. The next day, an announcement was made. Attention students, all balloon activity from here on out is permanently banned. Any students participating in any future water balloon fights or things of the such will be expelled. But for that 8th grade class, especially those who avoided getting in trouble, they said it was a day that they'll never forget. And it is a legend around that school. That's epic. This teacher stole a deceased girl's necklace. It was middle school science class. The teacher had them doing some drawings of cells and whatever science stuff, so he had brought out some crayons and colored pencils. Well, he was getting very mad because for the past few days, his students were not putting the class supplies away. And I guess it was really bothering him. But instead of saying something, he told the class, "All right, class, we're doing something different tomorrow. I want you all to bring in something very important to you. Something that you would never want to lose." For what? Oh, you'll see. It's gonna be lovely. Well, they brought in their stuff. A girl brought in a necklace. It was the other half to the one she was wearing. Well, the one she brought in belonged to her friend who had died in a snowmobile accident the year before. Somebody else brought a family heirloom. One kid brought in his dad's old watch. His dad had passed away 2 years ago. So it was some pretty important stuff to these kids. Okay, really quick, everybody, hand me your items. Just put them up here on the desk, okay? He put all the items in a cardboard box and said, "You will get these back when you start respecting my classroom and my supplies." Okay? What? My dad's watch. No, mister. I need the necklace back, please. He didn't care at all. All of this over some crayons and colored pencils. The class didn't get their things back for over a week. Some parents had to get involved. That was a very big thing, and he never apologized once. On Monday, Mr. Davis said, "Bring a towel and wear old clothes on Friday, class." No explanation, that was it. And the rumors start instantly. "Bro, we're painting." "No, guys, we're making slime." One kid remembers seeing a package of unfilled water balloons in a Walgreens bag, sitting on Mr. Davis's desk. No, guys, listen to me. It's water balloons. That seemed like the most reasonable explanation, and kids got hyped. By Friday, everyone's ready. One kid brings a change of clothes, one kid's wearing goggles, most of the class is in their swimsuits. They're super hyped. Well, they get in Mr. Davis's class and they walk outside. There's water balloons everywhere, buckets full of them, and the weather's perfect. This is a dream come true. Yes. Literally a dream. Imagine a water balloon fight in the middle of a school day. That's when Mr. Davis says this. "All right, class, today we are studying projectile motion." Huh? Each of you will take turns throwing one water balloon at that wall right there. Then we'll log your trajectory data and calculate your angles. That's it. It's an actual frickin' lesson. One by one, kids are launching water balloons at this blank wall. One kid really wanted to splash someone, so he fake stumbles and accidentally pops a balloon on one of his classmates. Oops! That felt nice. Hey, no fooling around. That's a 0 for both of you. Now, they were never promised a water balloon fight, but they built themselves up and they truly believed it.
কি করবি সেই না চেহারা না হলো কি চেহারা কথা তো বেশি চেহারা ওজন বেশি
আপনি না শুই না দেখা সব জানা ফেলছেন বাবা। রক্ত লাগবে রে। রক্ত?
আসবো না মানে? হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম। আসবো না। ঠিক আছে দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা যাও।
কিরে তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন?
দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল? এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস, ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগে থাকে।
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল। গলবে পাখির মন গলবে এমন মন্ত্র দেব।
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয় আপনি শিখে নিতে পারো।
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল না। আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর। আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসা চাই, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পালি হবে।
ওকে আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন।
আমার তো অনেক ভয় লাগতেছে দোস্ত, এই যে আস্তে আস্তে সব মানুষ জানবে, তারপর আমার ফ্যামিলিকেও জানাই দিবে। আর আমার
এন্ড বেস্ট অফ লাক ফর ডক্টরশিপ। আমি দোয়া করি তুমি যেন একজন ভালো ডক্টর হও।
কি রে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবো।
তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা যা পাল্লা তো ভালো।
দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা হ্যাঁ কথা বলতে পারো না?
বিয়ান সাহেব, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি।
বলে দিবেন যে আমার বন্ধুর সাথে যেন ভালোভাবে প্রেম করে, নাইলে কিন্তু ঝামেলা আছে। যেদিকে তাকাই তোমায় দেখতে পাই, কিচ্ছু ভালো লাগে না।
বন্ধু, তুই যদি রক্ত দেস?
ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত।
না দুলা ভাই আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই না, আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে আর আমার আম্মু তো একা, এজন্য আমি যাই না।
আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে, তখন আমি কি করব?
আরে ছাইরা দে।
তবে ইন্টার সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে আমার ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাবেনও প্রেম করে।
মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেন সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু জিসান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনো।
মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি। কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। তুই রবিল নামে সুন্দর একটা রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি চিনিকে আমার বন্ধু জিসান দিচ্ছে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি। দেখেন ভাবি,
বন্ধু ধরে না।
আবার কল দেখ।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল, আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসা চাই, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন,